Hello, and thank you for joining us. Federal authorities have charged the suspect in a deadly shooting outside the Capitol Jewish Museum in Washington on Wednesday night. The DOJ has charged 30-year-old Elias Rodriguez with 2 counts of first-degree murder, murder of foreign officials, causing the death of a person through the use of a firearm, and discharge of a firearm during a crime of violence. Authorities say Rodriguez shot and killed 2 Israeli embassy employees as they were leaving an event at the museum. He then entered the museum. One witness described her encounter with the suspect.
A man comes in, he looks really distressed, and people are talking to him and trying to calm him down. I asked him, like, how's your night going besides this, whatever, and like, welcome to the museum. And he goes, oh, what kind of museum is this? And I'm like, it's a Jewish museum. And he's like, do you think that's why they did this? And I'm like, oh, I don't think so. I don't think it's related. And then he reaches into his bag and pulls out a keffiyeh and says, I did it. I did this for Gaza.
The Israeli Foreign Ministry identified the victims as Yaron Lashinsky, an Israeli citizen, and Sarah Milgram, an American who grew up in Kansas. Israel's ambassador to the U.S. says Lashinsky was planning to propose to Milgram next week during a planned trip to Jerusalem. The interim U.S. attorney for D.C., Jeanine Pirro, told reporters Thursday this is being investigated as both a hate crime and an act of terror.
This is a horrific crime, and these crimes are not going to be tolerated by me and by this office. This is the kind of case that picks at old sores and old scars, because these kinds of cases remind us of what has happened in the past that we can never and must never forget.
CBS News Homeland Security correspondent Nicole Sganga was at that press conference and joins us now. Nicole, what more can you tell us about the 2 victims?
Hi, Lindsay. Well, Yaron Lashinsky and Sarah Lynn Milgram were described as being in the prime of their lives in a statement from the Israeli embassy. They were a young couple who, as you mentioned, were on the verge of being engaged. In fact, CBS News spoke with Robert Milgram, the father of Sarah Lynn Milgram, who wanted folks to know that his daughter was someone who loved all people in the Middle East, who was all about bringing people together, who spent several summers in Israel working with both Palestinian and Israeli groups, again, to bridge that gap between them. Speaking about her soon-to-be fiancé, Yaron Lashinsky, he said, quote, "We loved him." He actually told CBS News that he learned of the planned engagement. It was supposed to happen on Sunday during a planned trip to Israel when the Israeli ambassador called him with the bad news from that night. Just heartbreaking. A close friend of and colleague of Sarah Lynn Milgram, Sheila Katz, described her to our CBS News investigative team this way. She said, "I saw firsthand what a passionate person Sarah was and admired her work on civil society and advocating for women's rights, LGBTQ rights, and for peace between Israelis and Palestinians. She stood tall for other marginalized groups and was a light to us all."
What more are we learning about the shooter, his potential motive, and how he was able to pace outside the museum with a firearm in such a secure area?
Yeah, well, to answer the last question first, D.C. police says that they were not stationed at the museum at the time of this event. There was some security there. We know that the gunman arrived in D.C. on May 20th, that he took a United flight from Chicago O'Hare to Reagan National Airport. We don't know what happened over the next 24 hours. That's something that investigators are looking into now. We know he was traveling for a work conference that he declared and flew with a firearm that was in his checked bag. We know that he shot both of these victims outside of the museum, that he fired several times, reloaded, and then shot them again after first spotting them at a crosswalk. We know from the affidavit, reading through it, that Rodriguez spontaneously stated on scene to police, quote, "I did it for Palestine. I did it for Gaza. I am unarmed." At that point, he had gotten rid of the weapon. He was holding a red scarf identified by a witness as a keffiyeh. As MPD officers escorted him from the scene, he shouted, "Free Palestine." They interviewed him early this morning at around 1 a.m. And during that interview with D.C. police detectives. The gunman expressed admiration for the actions of an individual who, in February of this year, self-immolated in front of the Israeli embassy in Washington, D.C. as a form of protest, calling him a martyr. He also said that he had purchased a ticket to the event at the museum approximately 3 hours prior to the commencement. So, again, some planning here and perhaps some inspiration on the part of the gunman.
Nicole Sganga, thank you.
Thank you.